G'day guys, and welcome to our fourth and final lesson for our outdoor education unit. Today we're going to be looking at sustainability, what that means in the outdoor ed setting, and how we can sort of implement some sustainable things into our lives as well. But before we get started for this lesson, I just want you to have a think about what you think sustainability looks like in an outdoor ed setting. So pause the video. You can use dot points or sentences up to you. Scan the QR code and just put a few things and what you reckon it means in an outdoor ed setting, whether that means looking after the environment or using reusable coffee cups, whatever that might mean, and how that affects the environment in an outdoor ed setting. But yeah, pause the video, use the QR code, and we'll see how we go. Good work on that one, guys. Excited to look at some of your answers. I've just put a few points here about what it sort of means sustainable looks like in outdoor ed setting for me. For the first one there, I've got builds awareness of human impacts in ecosystems, wildlife, waterways, and landscapes. So human impacts around sustainability in the outdoor ed setting is really massive. Obviously, we do use the environment a lot in our surroundings, but yeah, looking at different ways that humans impact those things and how that affects those following ecosystem, wildlife, and things like that as well. Second one there, I've got promotes responsible decision making when planning camps, hikes, and outdoor activities. So when you are in the outdoor ed setting, you're doing a lot of these activities in the outdoors, and it's looking at promoting good decision making, what we can do to promote that sustainable lifestyle whilst using our outdoor ed setting. Third one there, I've got supports long-term health of outdoor spaces for recreation and education. So as I was saying before, obviously we're outdoors a lot in the outdoor ed setting, and we're just looking at ways that we can support the long-term health of these environments that we cherish so much and enjoy working in, and we can get so much out. So it's a two-way relationship with us and the environment. We can benefit from that, but we also need to ways the environment can benefit from us using it as well. And fourth one, I've got help students recognise how climate change affects outdoor environments and activities. So looking at that climate change side of things, how the world is changing, how we're affecting that, and how we can have a positive impact on that as well. And then our last one there, we've got links to personal sustainability actions. So looking at things that we can do in our lives to promote sustainability practices. In our everyday lives, we're not going to change the world, but if we can do our little bit, then that'll do wonders for our environment. Cool. So today, I think probably the biggest one we're going to look at in terms of sustainability is the human impacts that we have on our environment. What we sort of do, how that affects the places we live in, the places we love to learn in, and then we'll look at some things that we can do to help increase our sustainable practices so we are having less of a negative impact and more of a positive impact on our environment. So I've got a few points here. Pollution's a big one. Obviously, the world we live in, there's so much rubbish around, plastics, chemicals, and they're all entering our natural environments, which hurts so many things from wildlife to vegetation. You've seen the oceans, obviously, algal bloom stuff, all effects of pollution and plastics and chemicals getting into these natural environments. So that's a big one, a big negative one that we can have direct impact on pretty quickly. Second one there, I've got habitat destruction. I think the world's getting a little bit better at this, but yeah, just that land clearing, building infrastructure, and removing that vegetation does really negative things to our environment. At least that now and moving forward, we're replanting a lot of things. The government doing really good jobs at creating these conservation spaces and natural environments where they are not able to be touched. So I guess we're moving in the right direction there, but we're still going to be very cautious of habitat destruction. What else we got? Overuse of natural areas. So this is a big one in outdoor ed when we're doing on hikes and stuff, and I'll touch on it a little bit later, but making sure that we're not using and walking through areas that aren't designated for trails and things like that. So if you're walking through things like sand dunes, that's a really big one. People doing sand dune surfing near the beach, that has really negative impact on our environment. So we don't want to use these natural areas too much that aren't built to have us walking through them and using them in ways that aren't natural. Fourth one there, I've got water pollution. Obviously, water's coming from all sorts of places. It runs down, it runs through the cities, it runs through the roads. And once that gets into our waterways, it can actually have a really negative impact there as well. So we've got to be careful about how we are disposing of our water, where our water runs to, and the effect that has on our environment. And the last one there, I've got climate change. Pretty big one. It's pretty obvious. It's been the main talking point for the last sort of 15 years. And that's just that greenhouse emissions from vehicles, industry use and energy use. And again, we're slowly getting better at looking at different ways that we can have renewable energy, but it's still having massively devastating impacts on our environments. But I want to look at some things that we can do to positively impact environment and increase our sustainable practices in our everyday lives, and especially in our outdoor education setting. So a good one that we sort of live by in all our planning and our camping and the things that we're doing in and outside of the classroom in these natural environments as well is the leave no trace principle. And they've got sort of 7 principles that cover a lot of things and enable us to live in a really sustainable way. First one is like plan ahead and prepare. So know where you're going, how you're going to get there, making sure you're switched on and you're able to plan out where you're going to go, your routes, so that you are walking on these designated paths, which sort of flows onto our next one, which is travel and camp on durable surfaces. When we can enjoy our really nice and natural environments, we're lucky enough that they're often set up in ways that we can do that in sustainable ways. So when you're if you want to camp, you're camping at a designated campsite. And you're not camping in the bush where you're destroying vegetation, disrupting wildlife. There's designated camping spots that are durable and are able to camp on without damaging too much. And that goes the same when you're getting from destination to destination. You're walking on designated trails. You're not going off bush into the scrubs, disrupting all these things. You're staying on the designated trails that are there, and they're used to getting that heavy foot traffic without doing too much damage. Third one, dispose of waste properly. You sort of everything you bring into an outdoor environment, whether that be a natural park, a national park, or whatever that is, you should have to take out with you. A lot of places don't have bins, and it's your responsibility to dispose of your waste properly once you've left the camp in the appropriate bins. Leave what you find. Obviously, there's some many nice natural treasures that you might find during your outdoor journey, whether that be a really cool stick or a shell on the beach, something like that. But it's our responsibility to leave that where it is. It's part of a natural environment for a reason. We don't have to remove that because that might be vital to a wildlife habitat, things like that. So you're leaving what you find. Fifth on there, I've got minimize your campfire impact. So when you're at a national park, it's actually illegal to grab wood from the natural environment and use it as a fire. If you really want a campfire, you can bring it in and you can buy that or source it from somewhere sustainable. But limiting your campfire impacts is a big one, and often you won't need it. 6, pretty obvious one, respect your wildlife. Admire it, appreciate it, but let's not do anything silly and stupid. Just respect it from afar. You don't need to disrupt it. Take a photo, that's fine, but you don't need to do anything else with that. And then number 7 is just be considerate of other visitors. There are lots of people in the outdoor ed setting that you'll see along the way, but let's be respectful of them as well. Now, sort of the main part of this lesson is looking at what we can do to promote these sustainable practices. So I've got a little task that we'll go into next, but just have a think for the next couple of minutes or so. Pause the video, have a think what I can do to be sustainable in your own life. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean when you're on a camp all the time, but what's some little things that you might be able to do that can have a little bit of an impact, whether that's in your local community, just your family, or if you really want to push yourself, go in the wider scale in your local area, whatever that might be. So have a pause the video, think about it for about 2 minutes, and then press play again, and we'll go into our activity for the session. So for our activity and a little bit of a formative assessment for today, we're going to look at creating our SMART goals poster in relation to sustainability. For me, I'm a big coffee drinker, and in the past, I've been really bad at just ordering takeaway coffees and using the plastic cups or the takeaway cups that they come with. So my sort of sustainable goal is around using reusable coffee cups and how that's going to help the environment. So with a SMART goal, we're looking at the acronym. It stands for specific. So it has to be specific, not too broad, not just be like, oh, I want to pick up rubbish. Not really good enough, not really specific. Tell me how, tell me why. Measurable, has to be a measurable factor. You can't just spit out a random thing that can't really be measured. Attainable, so it has to be realistic as well. So obviously you can't say I want to cure climate change through being sustainable. It's not really attainable, it's not really measurable, it's not really specific. So making sure you can actually do it and it's something you can implement into your own lives. Has to be relevant. So when it comes to relevance, we're looking at sustainability and how it would actually help the environment. Me playing 5 rounds of golf doesn't help the environment. It's not really relevant at all. So something like that wouldn't really need to be included in your SMART goal, but yeah, making sure it is relevant. And then timely is the last one there. We want to put a time frame on it so it's something we can actually achieve throughout our doing so. So create a SMART goal. For me, mine is for the next 6 months, I will use a reusable coffee cup instead of plastic or takeaways to reduce waste and show responsible minimal impact behaviour in my outdoor education setting. So that's my brackets for my SMART goal. That is my statement for my SMART goal. And then I've broken down the smart aspects of it, and then how it's going to promote sustainability in outdoor education. So make a cool little poster, chuck it up on the Padlet I've got there, scan the QR code once you've done it, upload your image, and I look forward to seeing you all doing that. But once you've done, that is the end of our 4-lesson plan. So thank you so much for engaging over the last 4 weeks. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you all out in the outdoors. Cheers.